if I don't win this particular activity or game, I will have another chance.
I'm here with Muskkaan at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, where you are getting an education. What degree program are you in?
It's called Masters in Education, and the program is called Education, Leadership, Organization and Entrepreneurship. It's
a lot going on there. But education and entrepreneurship, how do those two things mix?
So when you're at the leadership positions at most of the places, or you want to be there, this program fits in like perfectly well, because they teach us a lot about how do you start your own venture, what are the essential things that you require to be a leader, and you just get to meet so many wonderful people here at Harvard, so you learn from everyone.
That sounds really cool, and we'll talk more on that in a second, but I know you have a startup. That's kind of what we're talking about here. What's your startup?
So it's called Evolving Thinkers, where we are working with students aged 3 to 8. They have faced early isolation due to the pandemic, and parents are often not available due to work. So there's a lack of structured play and emotional guidance. So that's where Evolving Thinkers comes in. And it's an after-school program. We have a curriculum that helps students develop transferable life skills such as emotional learning, concentration, resilience, mental agility, all of which are essential to thrive in an ever-changing world.
How do you think about organizing all of the things when you have so many different things going on in a child's life?
Right. So what I do especially with Evolving Thinkers is that I am working with kids in an activity-based manner. So I will essentially divide all my activities in some core competencies. There's confidence, there's balance, there's variation, there's rhythm. So all my activities will essentially do one of these. And now I'm coming up with an assessment tool as well, where I will be mapping these out. Whatever the child is doing, even if the child comes and speaks to you saying that, ma'am, my turn is left, that is confidence for the child. That is something that the child has not been doing or has not been speaking up in class, and now is able to do that. So for me, every small thing is a win, but it is a very dynamic class because every child will perform differently on a different day. They also have their own phases, right? Mm-hmm. So when they come into class, you have to kind of map what they're feeling, how their week has been, and then take it forward from there.
So with Evolving Thinkers, it sounds like you're really just engrossed in this. You've got a lot going on with the idea, but this didn't come out of nowhere. Surely you had a learning process even coming to this point. Can you tell me about a person in your life, at some point in your life, that had a different perspective that you learned from and you thought this is going to be really useful, or maybe at the time you didn't know how it was going to be useful, but you find it useful now?
Absolutely. So a little background about me is that we own a preschool back home in India. So it was started by my mother and I joined her. By qualification, I'm an architect, but I switched fields to be an educator because I saw her and I was really inspired. So while we were shifting the school online during COVID, that's when I came close to the schooling for the first time, and I decided to become an educator. But during that period, we also saw that the kids and the way they behave is changing. They really don't know how to behave socially because they have been locked indoors for really long. So that's when my mom gave me the idea that you should do something where kids are learning intangible things. So social emotional learning, concentration, it's very difficult to map and it's very difficult to explain to someone that how it is improving, right? But we believe that through play, kids will develop all of this. So there is team building activities that we do, there are some individual activities that we do, and the fact that the child knows that if I don't win this particular activity or game, I will have another chance, that kind of teaches them resilience. Because they know that it's okay to fail, I will get another shot at it.
Yeah, I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough grace in that space, being okay with failure. Okay, you were working as an architect and then you decided education because you interacted with your mom and you had this experience. You said, here's this other perspective. I'm going to completely change my direction. How did you go about thinking of that?
I think one of the main factors was the kind of reward that you get in terms of satisfaction. Like, I know that a child will grow to be 5 years. A project may or may not. The second part of it is that the kind of respect you get from their parents is immense. There are so many lives that you can touch by doing simple things. And you play such an important role in their life. So it just gave me a sense of purpose, sense of fulfillment, and I just decided very early on, for that matter.
So thinking about evolving thinkers now, what do the next 6 months look like? What does success over the next 6 months look like?
While I'm here at Harvard, I will be coming up with an assessment tool for mapping these intangible things that I'm working with. And I want to be able to have my curriculum set in such a manner that I am ready to franchise back home and globally. So franchise not only with individuals, but also with partner institutions like schools, where their infrastructure is used only for half a day. So why not give them this after school program where I train their teachers? They do it at their own pace and time, but they are using their infrastructure and making some extra money. But yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Well, that's super cool. And I have so many more questions, but I want to respect your time and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I think we're going to hear a lot of conversations like this at the Visionaries and Ventures Convention for people who are entering entrepreneurship from traditional routes, from architecture to education. I mean, that's an incredible story. So I hope to see you at the event on November 17th. It should be fun.
Thank you.